Welcome to Podadelphia. My name is Dave DiOrio. You can find me on Twitter at @fat_lobster. And I'm joined by a guy who always gets hardened whenever I see him. What's up, Nico?
Always. But only you, Dave.
I don't believe that for a second.
You shouldn't believe that for a second. But I'll tell you what, I've fantastic time to be a Philadelphia sports fan, especially a Sixers fan. My goodness gracious, all the Angels and Saints.
So we haven't spoken since the trade went down, correct?
Oh man, we haven't.
Mm-mm. I mean,
a lot of life's been lived.
Yeah, it was a little over 2 weeks. I mean, maybe we had a show, but you weren't on it, so we didn't really.
You guys did have a show, yeah. I was like a last-second scratch.
I mean, like, what a crazy, crazy time, and
it's a delightful time to be a Sixers fan these days. My, oh mama.
I mean, I feel like buckle in. This is the Sixers team you've lived your whole life for, kind of situation. Like if you were.
Why do you think I'm wearing my glasses? You know what? I'm in and out of crying, like crying tears of joy for finally. I feel like, I don't know. I haven't felt this good. I haven't felt this emotional about a Sixers team, about any Philly sports team in a really, really long time. Those 2017 Eagles, they snuck up on us and got us the Super Bowl, right?
Right.
You know, the 08 Phillies, they were upstart. 2007, great. That was our last championship there. But these Sixers, man, there's something special.
This is something
special.
This is the way I felt about the 2011 Phillies.
Yes.
This is the team you waited your whole life for. It's like the four aces. It's the 100-win season. It's the favorite going into the postseason. It's like, I would put money on us to win the championship at this point, kind of feeling. And it's all coming up Millhouse like so far. Like everything's great.
It's fantastic. And I like that we're not in first place, though. I do like that part. I like that we do have a little bit of a chip on our shoulder. We're kind of hanging back there, a couple games back. We're not a dark horse by any stretch of the imagination. But I do like that we're not a front runner, true blue front runner right now.
But we've done the front runner thing. I mean, we've been the one seed in the playoffs.
We were there, yeah. We were there last year, and kind of look what happened. And I don't know if you felt this way last year, but going into the playoffs last year as the front runner, I don't know. There was always this like kind of like tiny bit of like something in my stomach that said like something's got to happen here. I don't know. I don't believe this. I don't believe this.
I think over the past few years we've kind of talked ourselves into being excited about different things. You know what I mean? Like I remember talking myself into being excited about Sam Bradford. It's like the same way. I talked myself into being excited about Al Horford.
I
was like, this could work, man. This could work. Bully ball. We're gonna get people in foul trouble every game.
Yeah, we're the biggest team on the court. We have to win now.
Yeah. Look at our wingspan.
Yeah. Look what that happened. But no, this is a completely different animal. I mean, just watching the way that they move the ball in the last two games. And I get it. It's 2 games, everybody. It's 2 games. Chill out, Philly sports fans. It's 2 games. I'm sorry. This transcends Philadelphia sports fans. This is the entire NBA is watching this right now.
Yeah. It's like remember when you were younger or whatever and you thought like, oh, let's splurge. Let's go to Outback. Let's get a steak. And I like, this is great. Like, I'll get a fillet.
No, how young are we talking? Are we talking like high school going to Outback? Because if you went to Outback in high school, you were doing very well for yourself.
The Outback, when I was in high school, for those of you that live in South Jersey at the Shore Mall, the Outback was very conveniently placed just outside of the Town 16 movie theater there. So if you were like, and there was also TGI Fridays there. So you were like, it was like Date HQ. What I mean? Like if you were like middle class Date, you were at the Fridays. If you were like putting on the Ritz
anniversary,
Yeah,
Anniversaries. We're
yeah.
at the
Oh, that's
Outback. Oh,
Outback. You're
yeah.
going to the Outback.
Milestone
Yeah,
days.
but then you grow up and you
It's
go
our
into like
2-week anniversary.
yeah, well, and so we were eating Outback and convincing ourselves that this was fine dining, and then now you go to like Butcher and Singer or Delmonico's or Del Frisco's or whatever, and now it's like oh shit,
Oh,
this is good.
this
This
is
is the real deal
no,
here.
this is this man. It just feels so good, and to
Even
watch. Oh my god, I just like watching the ball movement. I don't even care if the ball goes in the hoop anymore. I just love the passing, the crisp passing, and the Maxi flying around all over the place. I think he grew a third leg. He's just so fast, and he's just
but
completely opened up his game, and I just can't.
even Ben Simmons, right? So like in the we'll say the golden age of Ben Simmons or whatever, you were convincing yourself, you're talking yourself into these um I don't know, like these perks of Ben Simmons, like, oh, the defense is so great. Oh, the
Yeah,
passing is
yeah,
incredible.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
like to really
Definitely
focus in
one
on
of
the
those people. I'm one of
passing.
those people.
Yeah, oh yeah, I was too. Like to focus in on the passing, but then like, wait a second, this is better passing and distribution than that was.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
I mean, there's just so much more versatility in his game.
yeah,
The low hanging fruit, the step back jumper. It's just unbelievable. But like when you add the passing and the distribution and the speed of the game and the pace that this guy plays with, it's just unbelievable. It's really
the,
really incredible.
my favorite. Well, so here's things that I've heard about James Harden before he came here. Dribbles the air out of the ball. I
Okay.
definitely don't see that like really at all. Everyone was, or at least I heard people saying it was like, okay, well, it's going to be the James Harden show. It's like James Harden dribbling around and four guys standing around watching. Like it
The
wasn't
James
Houston.
Harden show. Can we get whoever said that on the phone right now? Because I have a little stat. I have a little stat. Check this out for preparation. I have a
Oh,
stat. You
you
want
a
to hear it?
stat. Lay a
All
stat on
right.
me.
All right. Here we go.
Well,
Let me
hold
crack
on.
my
This might
knuckles.
fly in the face of first name followed by 12 numbers with 16 followers on Twitter. So,
All right. All right. Here we go. Here we go. You ready for this?
sure.
Harden, Embiid, and Maxey as a
Yes.
trio in their first two
Yes.
games. I get it, everybody. I know it's only 2 games, but you know what? These are 2 really big games. So, anyhow, 176 combined points in their first 2 games together as a trio, right?
Is that a record?
Where does that fall in NBA history? Second
Numero uno?
only,
Oh.
numero uno. No, second only to the record set in 1961 of 193 points by the
Will
venerable
Chamberlain.
Will Chamberlain,
Yeah, I think I heard
Paul
this.
Arizin, and the equally venerable York Larace. So there you have it. These, oh, my wife just texted me right now. You're screaming. I wish I could screenshot this and like send it. Hey, a couple kids upstairs. I'm in the basement, and they're 2 floors ahead of me. But apparently, I'm waking
It's funny.
people
You're in the
up.
basement. I'm in the attic.
Look at
We're,
us.
and we're in the same house.
We're exiled in our own homes.
And then did you see the report coming out of New York about Ben Simmons?
Oh yeah, with his backs, and I don't know if he'll be ready for March 10th in Philly. Yeah, of course he's not going to be ready because he doesn't have the stones to show up and play. I think it's Brooklyn protecting him too, protecting his psyche. I certainly can understand the importance of taking care of your mental health. I think that's huge in the world today. And I think you definitely have to take care of that. But in the same breath, when you're getting paid these big bucks, man, and you're getting these types of opportunities to show out and show people who you really are as a player, and you're not going to take that opportunity, a guy like Ben Simmons, if you're going to really call yourself an NBA competitor, you're not going to show up in Philadelphia on March 10th and play. Come on. You're going to do everything that you can possibly do to show up to that game and show up and ball out if you can, if you're capable of it.
Well, there comes a time in every man's life where he needs to step up to the plate and just face down his fears, face down his demons, and just do it. I mean,
Precisely.
like, so Ben Simmons is going to play a game of basketball in Philadelphia. He's going to get booed. He's going to get booed a lot. He's going to get booed every time he touches the ball. He's going to get screamed at. But at the end of the day, the game is going to end, and he's going to leave, and he's going to move on with his life. So just play the game, miss a few foul shots, and move on with your life, man. Like, I don't understand why this is such a
If
big
you are
deal. Like,
going
nothing's going to
to,
happen to you.
this game is going to happen at some point in your life. If
Yeah.
it does, if it happens on March 10th, get it out of the way.
Might as well make it
Rip
March
off-
10th and not game one of the Eastern Conference Finals.
And you know what? Show up on March 10th.
Not that they're going to
and,
get
I
to
don't
the
know,
Eastern Conference Finals.
score your 8, 10, 12 points,
Yeah.
get your 6 to 8 assists, grab a bunch of boards, play some solid defense. I don't know, even limit his minutes. Just give him like 18 to 20 minutes off the bench or something if you want to ease him into the rotation. Whatever. Let him face it. He's a professional. I know he's young, but he's a professional. Whether you're in your fragile mental health state or not, like, get out there, do the work you're getting paid for, and move on. Because this is a game in Philadelphia you're going to have to play at some point in your career. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be a lot easier on March 10th than it will be in the playoffs.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
That's for damn sure. So you might as well just get it out of the way.
And I mean, the other side of it is you could go out there and, like, play well.
Yeah, like I said, even if they want to limit
Not
his
that I'm
minutes.
rooting for him or anything. I just don't understand the cowardice. It's like ridiculous.
Oh, I want to see him do well.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. Not at all.
That is a lie.
But you know what? I will say that I was one of those Philadelphia sports fans, let's call it 2 years ago,
Yeah.
talking, would you trade Embiid or would you trade Simmons? And, I think at that time, a couple of years ago, Embiid's health was a little bit shaky. And yeah, I was like, I don't know. That's a tough call. That's a really tough call. But now, admittedly, I would never even touch that thought. For obvious reasons, but it's just kind of really crazy to me how quickly things can change, especially in the NBA. How quickly the weather can change and how a player can go from here to here or down here in the bat of an eye. So,
and the NBA in particular is very strange in the way that morale and player psyche has such a massive impact on performance.
Oh my God! Look
Like,
what's
that is
happening
not the
out in
league
LA
that's
right
like,
now. Yeah,
that is not the league that's like, yeah, we don't anymore. It maybe it used to be, but it certainly isn't anymore. Like, I'm not happy, but like, I go about, I do my business. I don't hang out with these guys. Like, screw this organization. Then I go home. It's total shit. Like, James Harden himself has gone into total shutdown mode.
Yeah.
But you could see what it's like when there is, like, and I think Philadelphia fans are bringing that joy. Like, I mean, I know it's not really talked about all that much, but I'm so happy that we're doing this show tonight and not tomorrow night, because tomorrow night I'm going to be settled in.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to have some
armchair expert,
some cold beverages.
Oh yeah, the Gatorade or
I'm going to be locked in,
sodas.
and that place is going to be bananas. And James Harden's going to lower his second round. I mean, right now I'm going to tell you, I don't care what it is. I'm taking the over tomorrow night for the Sixers. I'm taking Sixers given 1,000,000 points. I don't care. That place is going to be as loud as it's ever been.
I can't wait. I'm clearing my schedule. I called the White House earlier today, and I was just like, listen, State of the Union has to happen tonight. Don't think about rescheduling it for tomorrow night because I'm busy.
Oh, I thought you called the White House in Atlantic City and ordered some subs.
Oh, right. Oh yeah, that maybe I should call that White House. I wonder how those things could travel up to Royersford. How stiff you think those things will be coming up 422?
The extra oil and vinegar, man, those things would be a mess by the time you get home. So what was your, because this is going to lead into my little I have a little activity plan for us tonight.
All right.
What was your level of excitement when you found out that we got James Harden?
So I've got 3 different text strings I'm on. That
Okay.
revolve around Philadelphia
Was
sports.
I in
is
one of
like
them?
different? Yeah, absolutely. My God, you and Gene were the very first. Were you guys were numero uno. You always are. But I do have a secondary Philly sports text string with my friends in my neighborhood. Great group of guys, and I sent the same text to both strings within a second of each other, and the text was quote all caps, "Oh mama," to both. I had no other way to put my words out there in an eloquent way where I could really truly let you guys know how excited I was other than the words, "Oh mama."
Oh, mama. All right.
Oh mama.
So
Yeah,
here's what I
so
thought we could do tonight.
all right, all right.
I want to rank. I want to rank our level of excitement for various player acquisitions over the last, let's say, 20 years.
All right, do I need a pen
No, I got it all
paper?
I got it all loaded up for here.
All right. All
Let me
right.
add this to the stream here.
Ooh, wow, look at these graphics.
So now listen. Now listen. Before I get
No wait, no, hold on a second. Is that Andrew Bynum?
Shut up. Wait, I don't want to highlight him first.
Is that Andrew Bynum?
It is. We're gonna get to Andrew Bynum. But this is gonna be great. This is probably gonna take up the whole hours, but I don't care. It's gonna be so much fun.
What a clown.
All
right, here we go.
Before I get this is listen. It's through trade. It's through free agency. It's like in our adult lives. So I'm not like Steve Carlton is not on here because we got him via a trade in like 1978. Like
this is modern.
So this is like a modern era here.
Dare we call that modern era without alienating a certain demographic?
Sorry, Dad.
Sorry, Dad. What I'm not modern,
but it's going back. I think it'll go. I'm gonna say this probably goes back to 2001. Might be the.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
we'll say this is like
20 years. 20 years. That's good.
22 years is good. That's good. Because I got Mutombo on here, so that's.
I was going to say, is that Mutombo's hand?
So
there's like 4 Cliff Lees in there.
There's only 2 Cliff Lees. They all just look like Cliff Lee. Because Cliff Lee I have on here listed twice. So where do you want to start? Let's start with the bearded one.
All right.
Where would you?
So what's the scale here on the left-hand side for our listeners that are unable to view? There's a scale on the left-hand side.
S is like super. It's like
super.
the top, and then it's A, B, C,
awesome.
D, E, and then F is the last one's an F. But what I don't know why E is in there. It's a little weird, but anyway, we'll just rank.
We'll come
so
up
the
with
top
the word
is the
for
best. That's all.
All right, so you can slide,
and we can change. Like if you want to initially play someone, we can sort of change them around.
All right, cool.
So where are you slotting James Harden?
I'm definitely going to slot James Harden all the way up there, right next to. Get him a cozy spot by that S. Okay. Well, that looks nice. All right, there we go. Looking good. Right. Oh yeah.
Got to size.
I got to tell you what. For those of you that only listen and don't watch, you need to start watching because there are some.
I always forget
masterful
that we have a
exhibits
podcast going on.
Technological prowess. Look at this. This is delightful. Thanks. Yeah, excellent. So get James Harden all the way up there. All right, who's next? Andrew Bynum.
Let's. Where do you want? What team you want to go with?
All right, let's go to those Flyers. Who are those knuckleheads over there?
All right, so we got. What about Danny Briere? Oh no, that's really hot. How about Danny Briere?
All right. Now,
I feel like this is the most exciting one that I remember.
Danny Briere for the Flyers.
Yeah.
All right, so drafting. Are you including drafted players, or these are free agents?
No, these are free agents. Free agents trade or trades.
All right, listen. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not as I can't give you the excitement that I would give you for Harden, but I know what that signing meant for the Flyers during that period of time. So definitely put them. I'd say B or C.
All right, let's leave it as a C right now.
As a C right now, we can
we can maybe say like I don't know what the temperature of the city was, if it was super excited or not, and maybe I'm romanticizing it because I think it worked out really well.
It worked out really well for the Flyers, yeah. All
So
right.
we'll leave Danny Brea there to see. I mean, I think
He
if Sarah had a little was on the show, there'd be a little bit more
I
pressure
was
for
just
us.
gonna say Sarah would give us a little bit more insight in
Yeah.
as to why or why not that he is deserving of a C. However, maybe Sarah can call in or text us or something while we're
Yeah.
on the call. So, all right, cool. Who's next? Who's next?
All right, so hold on, we got a question
Is that
here.
no? Wait, who is that? Is that
Tim
Leo?
jumped in. You wanted to ask
there's
if
Tim.
we're ranking them as a reaction in the moment of the trade or signing, or ranking them in their overall impact. No, this is only when we found out
Only
that we
in the
got them.
moment. So a reactionary
Yeah,
level of excitement,
yeah,
not
yeah,
impact. Because
Right.
impacts would be more like along their scope of work. And we don't know what James Harden is going to do for us yet. We only have this 2-game
exactly.
sample size, but reaction of the signing. Thanks, Tim, for your clarification.
Yeah. So speaking of which, let's bring up Nam Diasawa.
All right. You know what, to be honest with you, that was that flurry of free agent signings that
was
the
Dream
Eagles
Team.
made. That was it was a dream team until Vince Young called them a dream team, and then it all went to garbage. So
Because wait, so who else was part of the Dream Team? So it was like Namdi,
don't you remember? Yeah,
Michael
Namdi was in
Babin,
there. Jason Babin, and then
Jason Babin.
and then did we picked up an edge rusher too, didn't we?
Did we?
Was
That
was
wasn't
Javon Curse?
Babin.
No, was it Javon Curse that they
They
picked up in that?
Did we get him then? I'm not sure, but like for me, Nam Diasmo was the face of that team.
For how long?
No, but I mean like for the face of the failure was Nam Diasmo.
Was Namdi Asamoah, yes. Now, in terms of your reaction to them signing him and all those, I was so pumped up.
Dude, me
That's
too.
that's all people were talking about. So I would slide him up into the B category
Yeah,
for
it's crazy,
reaction.
right?
But if we're talking about scope and body of work, he can go right back down there to
Of course,
Andrew
of course.
Bynum
But that's
real estate.
that's the point of the exercise. Is that like, man, how excited were we?
And what an exercise! I'm starting to sweat. It's quite an exercise.
Oh my God.
I'm getting
it's like we're doing
I'm getting
CrossFit here,
glossy.
basically.
I'm getting glossy. All right.
Yeah, but like we were like, oh my God, we got the best corner in the NFL.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. Yeah.
Namdi Island, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone ever said that.
We saw how that worked out. Good. He's a handsome man. A handsome man.
All right, let's go to the Phillies. We're going to start with the Phillies.
All right, cool. Who is that down there? Is that Barry Pepper?
Who, him?
No, the next guy over.
This guy?
Or is that Papelbon?
This guy?
No, next to Bynum.
Oh no, that's Hunter Pence.
Oh, that's Hunter Pence. Oh, interesting. All right, so Hunter Pence. That I was very excited for that signing. So you can throw him up there next to Namdi. I don't think he's an A plus. He's definitely not a James Harden.
No,
but that was pumped up.
Definitely not,
dude. Can we do another Philly?
Sure. Who do you want to do?
Cliff Lee, but the first Cliff Lee.
The first Cliff Lee. So this was the trade deadline acquisition of Cliff Lee from the Cleveland Indians.
Okay, that was moderately exciting. The second Cliff Lee signing was the one that I was like,
right. So the first Cliff Lee, the big talk of that moment was CC Sabathia. He was the big prize. So Cleveland, if you remember at the time, had 2 Cy Young winners on the team, Cliff Lee and CC Sabathia. And CC, they were just like, they weren't going to resign. So they were.
Can you believe both of those guys led that staff? My goodness. And gone.
Yeah.
And
gone. I know. And what's his name was on that team too? Oh, man.
Sandy Alomar Jr. No kidding.
I'm picturing it. Was it Martinez? Ramirez.
Manny Ramirez?
Manny Ramirez. No, not Manny Ramirez. Anyway, it'll come to me. But anyway, the Phillies wound up getting Cliff Lee, and it was a little bit of, I think, for those that were casuals, it was a little bit of an underwhelming move.
Yeah, it was a B plus move.
But I would say
it was like a B plus.
If you watch the league or if you were like heavily into fantasy baseball, like I was at the time,
Yeah,
Cliff Lee
same.
was a banger of a signing. So
Yeah,
where were you
huge.
at with that?
I was right there with you. I was very excited about it. I would put him up there with B, right
Okay.
next there to Hunter Pence on that one. The second Cliff Lee
So
signing, I will
listen, so here's
never
what I'm gonna
forget it.
say. Here's my first edit.
All right.
There's no way I was as excited to get Hunter Pence as I was to get Cliff Lee.
Yeah, so drop Hunter Pence down with Danny Briere.
Okay.
Let him keep him comfortable.
All right. We'll move Cliff.
Now the way that you have that there, it kind of looks like Danny Briere is it kind of like leaning on Hunter Pence's shoulder like they're bros a little bit there. That's
Do you
nice.
want me to put him in
No,
front?
no, no. I like the way that they were kind of snuggling. There's like a little
All
snuggle
right.
fest there in the marginally excited
I see now
category.
he's in like kind of the nook, the shoulder
The
nook.
the
So
nook,
it's a little
yeah.
bit more
Hey, listen,
like
life's a
that.
lot better when you're in that in
There you go.
Danny Briere's nook. I think you have an episode title right there. Danny Briere's nook.
All right. Oh, so you want to do Cliff Lee 2 now?
Cliff Lee too. I will never forget this. So it's like right before Christmas. I'm still living in Brooklyn, and I think it's I don't know. Let's call it 12:30 at night, and
Hmm.
I'm asleep. Kelly and I are probably we weren't engaged yet, so she was still my girlfriend at the time. I will never forget. She woke me up out of a dead sleep, tapped me on the shoulder, and it like startled or whatever. And she goes, "Guess what?" I was like, I was scared. I was like, "What?" She goes, and I'll never forget the way that she said it. It was so sweet. She was like, "The Phillies, they just signed Cliff Lee." Like it was like a dream. I was like, I shot out of bed like I was like like someone's on fire. I couldn't believe it. I was so
Yeah.
excited, and it was like, and then of course you wake up to the memes of like the Holy Family, but it's like Ruben Amaro's the Virgin
Oh
Mary,
yeah, I
and
remember
Royals as
that.
the
I remember that
shepherd, like
picture.
Cliff Lee's like the baby Jesus, and Cole Hamels is like a shepherd, you know. So put Cliff Lee's second signing right there at A underneath Harden.
Okay.
Not
All
quite
right.
as excited about Harden, but certainly it
So
was a
my
wonderful
story
Christmas
about
present.
that Cliff Lee signing is I was I had a I went through this phase where anything that big happened with the Phillies, I went and I bought every newspaper that like existed that had
Very
an
good,
article
very
about it.
good, very good.
So and there's a picture of this, and if I'll try to find it and I'll post it on the Facebook page and Instagram or something, where it was the New York Daily News, and the back page was the headline said Scrooged because it happened right around Christmas, so it
Yeah,
said Scrooged, and it was like Cliff Lee signs with the Phillies, and it was a picture of like a girl in like a Mets hat, like crying,
uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
there's a picture of me holding up the paper, I think in a Santa hat, smiling, and I was like, that needs to be my Christmas card.
All right, we need to get a picture of
So
that.
I'll find that picture because it's definitely on my Facebook page
And a
somewhere.
side note for all of you people out there that are on the fence as to whether or not to ask that significant other to marry you, if they wake you up out of a dead sleep to give you exciting baseball trade news, which for some reason Kelly always finds out first. I scour the sports pages and all the different news outlets constantly. But if there's ever a giant trade, except for the James Harden trade, if there's ever a giant signing, it always comes out of Kelly's mouth first. But if you're ever on the fence and that person leans over and they give you that kind of news, they wake you up out of dead sleep with such a sweet, wonderful nugget of news. I'll tell you what, that could tip the scales. Certainly did for me. There was a ring on her finger the following year.
Yeah, that like imprints on your brain like positive vibes, right?
I could still hear her voice in my head. Yeah. But for
Yeah.
this, oh no. See, I'm glad I'm wearing my glasses. I'm crying again.
Oh my
Come on. God.
All
All
right.
right. Now,
Where you want to go next?
Andrew Bynum. No, we'll save him for last.
How about
Although
Matumbo?
you know what? I feel like I was in college.
You definitely were in college
And,
because it was
for,
2001.
and for
I
those
was
of
there
us
with you.
and for those of us listening who remember the person I was in college, you wouldn't be surprised to find out that I really wasn't very focused on well, anything really, sports related as much as I am
You were
now.
focused on your studies, Nico. You were always studying.
It's really, yeah.
I was like,
Trexler
Nico, come
Live,
out. Let's watch a Sixers game. And you're like, I'm
Trexler
studying.
Library at DeSales didn't really get, very good internet, for me to, explore anything other than the books. Um, but I was marginally excited for Mutombo, but I think I was a little more focused on just the awe of what Allen Iverson was doing to the league at that point. But yes, once you get Mutombo in there, I mean, that's incredible. But I was one of those people that I do remember being slightly disappointed about losing Theo Ratliff because I like Theo Ratliff.
Right.
But Mutombo is Mutombo. So
I think I'm with you. I think I knew this is going back 20 years, so it is tough to recall. I think I remember being
in the
marginally
library,
excited.
You
and I were in the library, reading some great works of literature, and I said to you, I think we're getting him past his prime, and this is a short-term rental, so I can't be. Maybe we weren't as excited as maybe I thought we were going to be when I made this. So
yeah, we were like the.
I think I was more excited for Hunter Pence. It's weird that like Hunter Pence is my barometer in this thing. So maybe D.
Yeah, you could put him at D. I mean, yeah, it was definitely like the college kids that were allowed to rent the beachfront mansion for the sake of we're knocking down this thing next spring, so you guys can do whatever you want with it.
It's every house our landlord owned in college.
And thereafter, a couple apartments thereafter. But yes, I was certainly excited, but I didn't have the Philadelphia sports aptitude that I do now and the experience after 20 years and a couple of championships to really realize like how important that signing was though for that team. And it was an important signing, but I just wasn't that excited.
All right, let's do another Philly to kind of even this out here on the bottom. So how about Roy Oswalt?
You know what? He was one of those. Didn't he I don't know. Remind me of the circumstance of that one. Was that a mid-season?
It was another trade.
It shows you my excitement.
Mid-season.
You could probably slot him in CD.
I think it was 2010.
Yeah.
And then we had the four aces together for 2011.
Yeah. Now this is not to detract from Roy Oswalt, his body of work, his importance to that team. I just, for the sake of clarity here, and if we're comparing him to a Harden signing, I would probably put him somewhere in the C-B category, maybe right on the fringe. On that
I agree.
Mendoza
I think
line.
it's probably a C level.
Yeah, I wasn't charmed, but at the same, I was elated, but not charmed.
Yeah, because when you're gonna compare the acquisition of Roy Oswalt, you can't compare it to Cliff Lee, and you certainly can't compare it to like Roy Halladay. So I think he's got to be a C or D, and I'm wondering if maybe Hunter Pence needs to move down to the D category.
Oh, dude, that poor Hunter Pence. He looks so comfortable next to Danny Briere. But you know what?
All right, it's fine. We can leave him. We can leave him for now.
Okay.
We'll take a look at it.
Okay.
All right. All right. You want to do one of these Eagles? Let's do T.O.
Oh, I didn't even see T.O. was on there. Put him up right there next to the second Cliff Lee. I was so pumped about getting T.O.
Oh my God, yes. That was what a day. What a day that was.
That was amazing. You know what? You might
because you were waiting.
You might want to cheat him up a little bit in between James Harden and Cliff Lee a little bit because that was, I mean, come on, dude.
Right,
when we got T.O., that was,
out.
Oh, yeah, it's cute. It's cute.
So if you remember that, we had to wait for a court ruling to come down.
Yes. There was like a little bit of drama, suspense. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
So I was very excited to see that one shake down.
Yeah, that was very exciting because we were coming off.
He was a beast too.
Years of James Thrash and Todd Pinkston.
Although I liked James Thrash. I might have liked James Thrash more when he was a Washington. When he was a Washington. Prior to his stint with the Eagles. Yeah, a former commander.
A former future commander.
Yeah, exactly. But
it was such like what we needed at the time, and you got the best one.
Oh my God, absolutely. Very excited about that.
Yeah.
for sure.
Speaking of which,
And he brought some drama to the team too. Some interesting, like, come on, man, an interesting layer
and
there.
some pizzazz, right?
Yeah, there you go. What a great word, pizzazz,
Some swagger.
swagger, swagger. He brought some. Oh, what do the kids say these days? These kids and their rock and roll music, everything is swaggy and dripping.
Yeah, I
Things
don't
drip,
think.
right?
Yeah, we were
Mm-hmm.
like T.O. slaps. Um,
T.O. drips. He's got drip.
yeah, I don't think the kids are saying that guy's got pizzazz.
Yeah, razzle dazzle.
No.
Boy, he's a handful, but we
But the
love him.
same thing can be said about this guy, Ilya Brizgalov.
All right, that was
Um,
get Sarah on the phone. Come on,
I know, but all right, listen, let me just put it in, because all right, I'll just put it down here.
No. Give him where credit's due. Now, were you excited about Ilya
No,
Brizgalov?
I didn't know who he was.
Okay.
Um,
All right, put yourself in Sarah's shoes.
okay, I think if I was a
You're gonna get a nasty gram after this episode. You might.
she doesn't listen to the show.
You're gonna get an earful.
So I will put. So it'll be like Cliff Lee won for me. Like if I was a NHL
Guru.
like I watched the league,
Mm-hmm.
and you went through years of the Flyers with everything that was from Ron Hextall to Ilya Brizgalov. It was very much the same T.O. situation. It's like you were a goaltender away from the cup, and you got the best one. Like, you got an all-star goaltender.
And then
who proceeded to come here and do absolutely nothing other than give us the universe's humongous quote.
So I was like, and then what happened?
Right. So,
what?
Out of fairness, I guess I'll put him in like a C zone. What do you think?
Yeah, he's dropping because when I'm looking at these last four guys here, and take your pick. I mean, it's going to bring a lot of clarity to the rest of the list. All right, here comes Tim again. Briz would be a B, bumped down to a C because you expected the Flyers goalie to. I can't see the rest.
Because you expected the Flyers goalie to do shit. I don't know if it's like you expected him to do shit or expected him to do shit.
All right, well, we'll leave him there at C then because we're getting some reinforcement. Positive.
Okay. Good.
Reinforcement from Tim.
Good. We had him right where he should be then.
Right where he should be, but then
Oh, you can't see the right side of the screen, huh?
Yeah, because I'm here on my phone. Here, let me switch it to.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
You guys see my
All right, dude. You've been putting him off for too long. Where are you putting Andrew Bynum?
I'll put him right up there next to Harden, and then drop him down.
He's very tall, so
and then drop him down to E. You know what? Can you make Andrew Bynum cover the entire D, E, F lines? Because after hearing that press conference that he had outside of the Wells Fargo Center, remember how he had that in the tent? I wish I was deaf, that I didn't have to hear the crap that came out of his mouth, because that was a circus. And how many minutes did Andrew Bynum play for the Sixers? How many minutes? I know this is supposed to be reactionary and not based on body of work, but how many minutes did Andrew Bynum end up playing? Because you knew he was hurt when he came here. And then what, did he go bowling or something like that and screw things up even worse?
Yeah.
What a clown.
So, how did you feel when the Sixers announced that they signed Andrew Bynum? Were you excited or not?
No, I wasn't excited at all.
Okay.
Because he was injured, and I was kind of like, what, the Sixers signed an injured center. Great.
Okay, so you put F?
Yeah, I'll put him down there at F. And if we need to revisit, we can revisit,
All right. Let's do Roy Halladay.
Roy Halladay, I'd put him right up there with that second Cliff Lee. At the time, I was incredibly excited that they got Roy Halladay. I mean, he's, don't really have to say much more than that. I mean,
we talk a lot on this show about Roy Halladay. Like a lot.
Yeah. He's venerable.
Yeah. And I was excited. I don't know that I was as excited as I was to get To. I don't know. I need to think about this.
Oh, I was equally excited. If I'm gonna
All right.
really kind of go back there. Now, granted, these are our 20s that this was going down. I mean, things are
I
a
know.
little foggy in and out of there, for various reasons. But
We had a lot more distractions in our lives back then. Couldn't really focus too much on sports.
which is really a crazy thing to say, considering that we both now have kids
I know,
and
but you can all
jobs and
like
life.
the sports are always there here now in the house, so it's
That's true. That's
you're
true.
going out on adventures.
I'll tell you
Um,
what, though, if you're moving on to Bryce Harper, you can put him up next to James Harden in my book, anyhow. Because
abs-
when they signed Bryce Harper, that
absolutely,
was
and I don't even.
you
I think
literally felt like, okay, now we're moving in a direction. Now I can understand a little bit more about the identity that this team is looking
I,
to create.
now listen. You may want to. You can call me crazy if you want, but I'm willing
I'd
to
never.
push every single person down one level to leave Bryce Harper alone at S.
Even James Harden?
Yeah,
You think okay, so you when the Phillies signed Bryce Harper, you think that you were more excited about that signing than any other Philadelphia free agent signing in the last 20 years. Bryce Harper.
yeah.
You can say that. I mean, I put him right at the top of the list too. But if you're asking me to pick one, I would agree with you.
But I'm not asking you to do that. They can stay on the same level. That's
Hey, listen, they don't have to, but it's definitely thought provoking what you just said. And I'm going to say
well,
what.
I did have very much the same experience in the sense that it was very like it was a Twitter refresh bonanza.
Mhm.
The thing is that the Harper thing was so long. Like it was so long. Remember, it was like
Very,
when are these
very
guys
long.
going to decide? When are they going to decide?
Yeah,
It was so
yeah.
long, so long, and then there was like, oh my gosh, the plane is in the air. Like, oh, like Middleton's jet is out in Vegas. Like, what is going
Yep.
on? And and
It was
um,
fun.
and then there was like the Manny Machado thing that was going on at the same time, and like the electricians or whatever, do the right thing, man.
One of the first free agent signings that I was personally invested in and watched from social media. You know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Tim
Tim
just
says we
chimed in.
got when we signed Harper, it was a 13-year deal. It's for the rest of his career.
Yep.
And Harden, it's certainly going to be 5 years. I don't know how good it's going to be at the end of that. Um, but that's a good point. And then, I don't know if I know we're talking about like when you found out, but the whole introductory experience to Bryce Harper
Yep.
was like
When
another level. It was like another level.
yeah, because like I said, it was like one of the first times that you were able to really follow the entire story through social media and have like real time updates.
But when Harper came, and then it was all like, I love Philly. I want Philly to
I'm
be
gonna
my
win a
home.
championship. I'm
Philly's
gonna
the
win a World
best.
Series
We're
for
gonna bring more
Washington. I
players
mean
to Philly.
Philly.
Philly
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
Philly that, Philly socks, Philly's hat.
Hmm.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, he definitely, found, well, you got to also consider too, like he's building a brand here in addition to playing here as well. Yeah, I know his connection to the city of Philadelphia, considering where he was coming from, was a little bit like, are you sure, bro? You really feel this way about us this quickly? But hey, listen, man, you know, if somebody was throwing $330 million at me to go live in Akron, Ohio, Akron's the greatest city on earth. You know what I mean? So I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take
What
the
do you think?
excitement.
What do you think? I
I
get away
like.
with that?
I know you're just gonna leave Mike Vick over there on the side,
No,
just
no,
kind
no.
of
We got
like
to talk
hanging
about
out.
Mike Vick. I didn't know if you could see Mike. So
Yeah,
Mike Vick's another complicated one.
slide him in there next to Danny Briere because there's a lot of question marks. And when they signed him, there was so much surrounding him and all of the off field issues that he had experienced and everything like that. So you kind of, I couldn't get too excited about the signing of Mike Vick because I had absolutely no idea what to expect. Now, granted, he certainly pleased us on the field after that signing and everything, how the circumstances kind of played out and how he ended up getting onto the field and everything like that. But, as far as a reaction to his signing, I was lukewarm about it because, yeah, Mike Vick's exciting, but Mike Vick also came into town with a ton of baggage and had no idea what to expect out of him. It's great though. Look at that! Look at that! What an exercise!
Jeff fun with this one?
Yeah, this was delightful.
Yeah, I enjoyed this.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well, so it doesn't look like I'm not gonna like bore everyone with a conversation about.
Danny Briere.
No, look, we're done with this. I'll memorialize this somewhere. I don't want to bore everyone by talking about like labor agreements and baseball negotiations and stuff.
No.
Like where I'm at with this is just I don't give a shit. Like,
and this is the worst thing that could have ever happened to Major League Baseball because you go back to all those, you go back to that board that with football and with basketball, and even with hockey too. Baseball's really struggling. They're really struggling, to kind of like solidify their audience and their brand. And I think this labor holdout is the worst thing that could have ever happened to baseball, especially this time. At this time, it's there's no words for it. It's super disappointing, super disappointing. But then again, the season doesn't start till May. I mean, it's for me personally, starting the baseball season at the end of March, the regular season, and then those games in April and things, I feel like I would be okay if the season started a month later. Always.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I
Like
need to
every
freeze
year.
my ass off at Citizens Bank Park at a
I'm not gonna
7 o'clock
go. I'm not
night
gonna.
game in April.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
too
not
old
gonna
for that
take my.
shit.
I'm not gonna take my kids to that game. I'm not gonna go to that game, and that game's got no real bearing in the standings per se. I know it will eventually shake out like that. And I do consider myself a baseball purist. I don't want to see a clock or anything like that. But I I'd be okay with baseball starting every year on May 1st, and spring training being being actual spring training, and you February or March and April down in Florida or whatever you want to do your training at, and then start the regular season May 1st or something like that. But the March 31st thing and snowing on opening day and all that nonsense, take it or leave it. I'm sure there's plenty of people listening that would be like, "Oh my God, you're crazy!" But
It's just
it's got to be
complicated.
162 games.
It's complicated because of the sport is so old.
Yeah, there's a lot
it's
of
harder to make changes like that because it's like, okay, well, now all these records. It's like football, right?
Yep.
Like football this year, they went to a 17-game season, so all these records got broken. Like touchdowns in a season or whatever. It's like passing yards.
We saw one shattered right here at home. With Deshaun Jackson's rookie year receiving record broken up by Devontae Smith in the 17th game of the season. So it's kind of like, all right, well, records are made to be broken, but if you're kind of
football doesn't have 100-year-old records. You know what I mean?
No, they don't.
It's easier to do that stuff and get it. And they went from 14 to 16 to 17 now, and in the matter of 50 years. So baseball's tough. It's tough to do that stuff, but I think if you it's change or die. Change or die, and I think if you want to do 140 game season, I'm down. I'm fine.
I'm down too. The human species has to evolve, right?
I'm down. Prorate the records. I don't care. Like whatever. It's just it's time.
Yeah, but everybody's clamoring. Oh, we're gonna lose. We've already lost the two first series of the regular season.
Is that what the official statement was? Like the first two?
The official statement right now, we're officially 2 series in. So
well, we don't have to play the Astros on the road, so that's good for the Phillies.
Yeah, I guess so. Right? Take that one off of their plate.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have for the second. So in 2020 I did it, and now in 2022 I'm doing it. I went all out for Angels tickets because they're coming to Philadelphia. So in 2020, obviously, it happened there, and now 2022, it's happening now. So hopefully, they get this figured out before the Angels series.
Let's hope so. When did they come to town?
I think it's June. Could be.
Are you
I think
sitting
it's
behind
June.
Trout?
Yeah, Mike Trout, Shohei.
Are you gonna sit behind Trout in the outfield there? Where do you sit?
No, yeah. we're in the infield.
Yeah, right behind the dugout.
Decent
visitor dugout.
Decent seats in the infield. Decent.
Good for you.
Not great. Decent. Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to talk about?
You got me with the exercise. I'm exhausted. I'm now tired.
You're gonna be sore tomorrow.
I am gonna.
You're gonna be sore after this exercise.
My brain's gonna be sore tomorrow. But thank you again so much for having me. This was a treat.
Hey, keep coming back. I'm full of treats.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, so
good luck. Hopefully you get out of that attic sometime soon. But if you don't get out of that attic, looks cozy up there.
Thanks, man. I painted.
It looks nice.
I got some memorabilia here.
Yeah, it's nice, man. Right now, if you can see me, I have like a hula hoop in the background.
What do you got? You got a potty back there? What is that?
No, that's it's actually a small vanity that my daughter used to imaginary makeup and dress up. It's a war zone down here in this finished basement. Nice. It's chaos. Yeah.
You got a nice finished basement though, so that's nice.
Wouldn't have it any other way though. Love it.
All right. Well, that is all the time we have for this week. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Talking about more Sixers.
DeAndre Jordan. Maybe we'll be talking about DeAndre Jordan.
Maybe. Hopefully we get some baseball news between now and then. Eagles draft coming up. When's the draft?
I was just gonna say it's usually April, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we're gonna get
April.
We're gonna have a draft expert. Come on.
We're gonna have to talk about that because
by the way, you're usually pretty on top of that.
I'll do some research and things, but I wouldn't call myself an expert. Genius maybe, but not an expert.
Fair enough. So we'll see you in 2 weeks. Until then, if you haven't done so already, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to the show on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, check us out on social media. Just search Podadelphia on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you have any more time in your podcast listening day, be sure to check out The Whip Around for all the week's weird news. Also, check out the Painted Lines on YouTube for your wall-to-wall Philly sports coverage. And until we meet again, have a great day at work, everybody. We are out of here.